Oh, salve plebs! It's me, your friendly Roman historian Dominus Maximus. I wanna tell you a story, how it all began with the ancient Rome. It wasn't always so glorious and great. Rome wasn't always an imperium stretching over 3 continents. The first 400 years it was just a small city-state in the heart of Italy, with some pretty weird myths. A slave woman, Lucrezia, was cleaning her master's palace one night when she noticed a strange thing among flames in a fireplace. After taking a closer look, she recognized what that was. A penis. Upon seeing a male genitalia in a fire, she ran to get soothsayers and oracles. When they arrived and saw the fire schlong, they ordered Lucrezia to have sex with it, and as an obedient slave, she obeyed. After the intercourse, the flaming dingling disappeared. Lucrezia was left pregnant, and 9 months later, she gave birth to Servius Tullius. Young Servius Tullius was sleeping in a lounger during dinner. Even though he worked as a king's servant and his father was a fire penis, he wasn't perceived as someone of a great importance. But that night changed everything for him. Livy ab Urbe Condita, chapter 39. Servius Tullius lay sleeping. His head burst into flames in the sight of many.
Completely normal phenomenon.
The general outcry brought the king and queen to the place. One of the servants fetched water to quench the fire, but was stopped by the queen, who hushed the uproar and commanded that the boy should not be disturbed until he awoke of himself. So he was sleeping this entire fucking time. Soon afterwards, sleep left him, and with it disappeared the flames. After the incident, the queen saw a great potential in a young Servius Tullius, and when her husband, the king, died, she proclaimed Servius Tullius a new Roman king, totally ignoring her own children, the rightful heirs. During a siege of a small Italian city Ardea, a group of noble Roman men were having their typical toxic masculine locker room talk, if you know what I mean. Discussing whose wife is more loyal.
My wife hadn't slept with other men before. That's me. Nothing. When I'm engaged in sexual intercourse, my wife is laying about back with her. My wife hates cucumbers.
But one of them, Lucius Calatinus, bragged too much about chastity of his own wife Lucrezia. I don't mean to mock you guys, but my wife is the most loyal of them all. She has never had sex. Not even with me. Everyone was amazed by chastity of Lucrezia, except for one. Sextus Tarquinius, son of the arrogant Roman king Superbus. How will I punish the big mouth? He thought. I'm gonna rape his wife, he said to himself. Sextus jumped on his horse and went straight to Rome, where he visited the virtuous Lucrezia as she was weaving. After the Roman prince satisfied his dirty urge with poor Lucrezia, she took, out of an embarrassment, her own life. Even though her own father and husband forgave her? What's there to forgive? What it doesn't make... Consul Marcus Pulvius was dedicating a temple to Jupiter, but his rivals thought that he is not worthy of such privilege. They thought long and hard how to force Pulvius leave the ceremony so they could finish the religious process for him and grab that sweet temple consecration glory for themselves. And they came up with a witty and brilliant idea how to do it. Hey, let's tell him his son died. It's a great idea, mate. However, the fake story of the death of his son with the intention of so agitating him that he should go away, was received with indifference. But you should really go, mate. You need to bury your son, arrange a funeral. You do not want your son to end up in the same cemetery as plebeians do. But Marcus Pulvius responded,
"Just throw him in the trash."
Everyone gasped, but then they cheered, for he was truly a son of Rome. Etruscan king Lars Porsena laid siege to Rome. Being heavily outnumbered, desperate Roman Senate decided to assassinate the Etruscan king and sent out an assassin to do it. Gaius Mutius. Gaius sneaked at night into the enemy camp looking for the king. He got to the center of the enemy camp where he found that the Etruscan king was just paying off his army. Gaius didn't know how the king looked like, so he narrowed down his targets to a grand total of 2. Either it was the crown-wearing, scepter and apple-holding man with the golden chain around his neck that says king, or the man sitting behind a desk who was giving out the money to the soldiers. By doing a simple math, money equals power, power equals kings, he deduced that the latter must be Lars Porsena, and before anyone could stop him, he assassinated the poor fellow. Gaius was left struck as he found out that he just killed an ordinary scribe, while the real king was right next to him. But before he could process his mistake, King Porsena had him arrested and forced him to reveal details about Rome's defense system. But Gaius refused. If you don't tell us, we will have to motivate you to... You're gonna torture me. You're gonna torture me, is that it? Torture you? Ah, so you do wanna torture me? Nah, I said motivate you. Motivate. Go ahead. Go ahead. I can take it. You can torture me all you want. But I'm not telling you. Dude, what is wrong with you? What are you gonna do? Whip me? Spank me? You're gonna burn me. You're gonna burn me, isn't it? You damn dirty Etruscan fucks! Are you gonna burn me, isn't it? And Gaius thrusted his right hand into a conveniently placed sacrificial fire. The pain! The pain! I deserve it! I deserve it! I'm a dirty little hoochie. He screamed as fire melted flesh, leaving just stumped hands. As King was watching this horrific scene, a thought crossed his mind. I hope that people in Rome are not as crazy as this guy. By the way, there is over 300 guys in Rome. There are bigger or equal nut jobs than me. The king had enough. Seeing that the city was defended by such noble spirits, he decided to lift the siege and also spare the brave Roman. Poor Gaius Mutius had to go through being burned twice that night, when upon his release the king Porsena told him, "Go back, since you do more harm to yourself than me." Rome was saved that day, and Gaius Mutius got a nickname Lefty Scaevola for his brave self-harming deed, and became an inspiration for all self-preservation lacking Romans for years to come. Hundreds of ships brought wheat to the city of Rome to help fight an ongoing famine. While some Roman senators had some reasonable ideas how to distribute the wheat among the people, Senator Gaius Coriolanus came with a radical proposal. The common people would have to either give up on their civil rights or buy the wheat for an outrageous price. Coriolanus' proposal was so radical that no patrician came to his defense when plebeians wanted him executed, and betrayed Coriolanus had to go to an exile. He chose to go to Valsci tribe, mortal enemies of the young Roman Republic, to exact his revenge on Rome. It didn't take much effort to rile up Valsci against Coriolanus' former homeland, and because he was a persuasive individual, the tribe even declared him commander-in-chief of the Vasci army. Coriolanus proved to be a masterful commander, and he conquered many Roman cities with his newly assembled army, and eventually he besieged Rome. And again, Roman senators had to come up with a glorious idea how to defeat it. Okay, scratch that. They came up with the biggest dick move one man can do to another. They sent out a bunch of Roman women into the enemy camp to cry for mercy. Among them, Coriolanus' mother and his wife. These two women were easily recognized, among other women, by one of the Vasci lieutenants, because they were distinguished from all others by their exceptional sadness. Whatever it looks like. So he reported to his commander,
General, your mother and wife came here to visit you.
Commander Coriolanus wasn't brave enough to deny them enter, so he let them in. But instead of a warm welcome, he had to go through a biggest scolding of his entire life.
How could you lay waste this land which gave birth to you and nurtured you? Had I not been a mother, Rome would not be besieged. Had I not got a son, I might have died free in a free country.
But Ma...
Don't you ma me, you little shit! You know what you've done? How could you embarrass me so much? Your own wife, you do nothing around the house. All the world feeding you with this. You know what neighbors say? My mother told me I shouldn't marry you. I should have listened to her. You selfish sus and egoistic, lazy, good for nothing, embarrassment of a man. Kids, this is what you turn out to be. This, everyone's laughing at me when I mention your name. Look him in the eyes and tell him to stop. Don't tell him anything you do. Kids, say goodbye to your father.
General, do we still attack Rome?
No, we need to we need to retreat back. We are out of supplies.
But General, we have tons of provisions.
I said we are out of supplies. We must tactically retreat back to Antium.
Rome was saved that day. A large Volscian army retreated and a temple was dedicated to female fortune. And poor Coriolanus? Well, he was murdered by Vasci.